Swamp Fox Distillery Company in Buena Vista, Georgia was recently featured in a Ripley's Believe It or Not comic strip. This after the owner and his son are set to release the first ever active age bourbon. News at 9's photojournalist Denise Mosley caught up with the owner to hear his story.
Whiskey is a long process, so it takes several years to make a good whiskey, so those spirits have to have time to age and mature. In Georgia, because of our climate, the whiskey matures a lot quicker than it would in other states that has a more temperate climate. The reason Ripley's gave us a mention on their website is we have, and we're about to release the first ever, as we've coined it, active aged bourbon. My son and I went on a well over 5,000 mile road trip and did a lot of off-roading out west. I got curious to see what would happen if I took a couple of barrels of bourbon. 2 barrels went with us, 1 stayed here at the distillery as a control. We did about 500 miles of off-roading, a lot of jostling, a lot of carrying on, and of course a lot of asphalt time too. But we covered about 15 states during this trip, about 500 off-road miles. Changes in temperature from about 30 degrees all the way up to 112 in the Arizona desert. And humidity changes from subtropical here to very arid in the desert, and then right back to tropical in Louisiana. And we even drove it down Bourbon Street and across Whiskey Bay. Well, the first thing that crossed my mind when Joe told me that Ripley's wanted to do something was, that's never gonna happen. But it actually did. So, I mean, you know, we were excited. That's national recognition. They're even talking about putting a barrel display in one of their locations. Don't know which one yet. So, you know, so really excited to be recognized like that.
And you can visit the distillery yourself to learn a little more about the Swamp Fox. E-cigarette manufacturer